Magandang Yogesh ji, am I audible? Yogesh ji, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Shall we start, sir? Good morning, Suchitra International School. Namaskar, Vande Mataram, friends. I am Rakesh Dutt from Akhil Bharatiya Terapanth Yuvak Parishad for the public awareness program of Mission Empowerment of Terapan Task Force. I would like to welcome the dignitaries of our today's program, Shri Manish Daftari, General Secretary, Akhil Bharatiya Terapanth Yuvak Parishad, Srimati Deepa Kapoor, Principal of Suchitra Academy International School, Srimati Trisha Chakravarti, Vice Principal, and Srimati Annie as a Head Senior School, and also the management and students of Suchitra International Public School. As a medical first responder in national disasters and medical emergency, we can help ours and others. The program of virtual mission empowerment in school and colleges is been regularly awakened by the Terapan Task Force, the important dimension of Akhil Bharatiya Terapanth Yuvak Parishad. The cadets of Terapanth Yuvak Parishad are trained by National Disaster Response Force, Government of India. To know more about Terapan Task Force, I would request to play an introductory video. Yogesh ji, please play the introductory video. Of Terapanth Yuvak Parishad are trained by National Disaster Response Force, Government of India. To know more about Terapan Task Force, I would request to play an introductory video. Yogesh ji, please play the introductory video. Of Terapanth Yuvak Parishad are trained by National Disaster Response Force, Government of India. To know more about
शक्ति मैं हूँ मैं अनंत ज्ञान मैं हूँ मैं अनंत चेतना प्रवाह युक्त हूँ युवा हूँ मैं तो जोश है सजग हूँ मैं तो होश है हवाओं की तरह सदा मैं मुक्त हूँ में संग भक्ति है शक्ति मैं हूँ अनंत ज्ञान मैं हूँ से चेतना प्रवाह युक्त से जो आपदाओं में कि दर्द होश जाओ तुरंत उनको कष्ट से मैं त्राहि दूं लबों पे मुस्कुराहटे खिला सकूं रवायतें विश्वास के वास्ते फर्ज की घड़ी भी है ये जंग जिंदगी की है जरूरतें जहाँ भी हो मैं वक्त दूं है मेरा राष्ट्र धर्म ये सिखाया धर्म संग निभा रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं सशक्त फर्ज की घड़ी भी है ये जंग जिंदगी की है जरूरतें जहाँ भी हो मैं वक्त दूं है मेरा राष्ट्र धर्म ये सिखाया धर्म संग निभा रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं सशक्त फर्ज की घड़ी भी है ये जंग जिंदगी मैं हर मिटा सकूं मैं खौफ हर हटा सकूं मैं अंधकार में दिए की रोशनी धर्म संग एक आंसू पहुँच दूं किसी के घाव भर सकूं खुशी के धन को प्राप्त करके मैं धनी समय का एक युद्ध है सजग रहे वो बुद्ध है विवेक संग हो तो साधना यही मौत की पलों में जिंदगी की आशा सुदीर्घ रात्रि बादले प्रभात हूँ जहाँ भी हो जरूरतें पुकार लेना तुम मुझे मैं टीटी अब सदस्य बन के साथ हूँ अनंत शक्ति मैं हूँ अनंत ज्ञान मैं हूँ प्रवाह की आश सांस निर्जुआ हूँ मैं निर्दोष है सजन हूँ मैं तो होश है भी हो जरूरतें पुकार।
Thank you, Yogesh ji. Friends, we have seen the introductory video of Terapan Task Force, how we have been trained by National Disasters Response Force, and how our cadets are carrying on the mission empowerment. I would like to invite the most visionary, innovative, and charismatic personality, the National General Secretary of Akhil Bharatiya Terapan Yuvak Parishad, Mr. Manish Daftari, for his guidance. Shri Manish Daftari.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. Good morning, everybody. A very warm welcome to Mrs. Deepa Kapoor, Mrs. Trishna, Mrs. Lata, our TF Kannar Vikas ji, Co-Kannar Jitesh ji, TYP Hyderabad President, Rahul ji, Vice Principal, Vice President, Atul ji, dear participant, students, and everybody. It's our pleasure today we are organizing this Virtual Mission Empowerment Program in Suchitra International Academy School. You must have got a brief idea about what Terapan Task Force is and what all the activities we do in Terapan Task Force. And today we shall be learning about some life-saving tips on medical emergencies on natural disasters. With the pious blessings of Acharya Mahasharmanji, who is presently at Hyderabad, our organization Bharatiya Therapeutic Research is carrying out many activities in the field of social cause. We have created this book of world record, collecting more than 1 lakh units of blood in a single day, running 55 diagnostic charitable diagnostic centers, contributing in the field of medicine, and now this Therapant Force, through which we are being powered by National Disaster Response Force. Our cadets are getting 10 days of rigorous training, and now it's our endeavor that whatever we learn, we pass on to the community and dear students. हम ये देखें कि हमारी जिंदगी में प्राय हमारे साथ, हमारे आसपास के लोगों के साथ, हमारे परिवारजनों के साथ, हमारे दोस्तों के साथ कभी भी ऐसी घटनाएं हो जाती है, लाइक से एक्सीडेंट्स की घटनाएं, चोकिंग की घटनाएं, या हमको कभी नेचुरल डिजास्टर्स करने पड़ते हैं, और उस समय अगर हमको इस प्रकार की लाइफ सेविंग टिप्स आए तो हम खुद की मदद कर सकते हैं. वी कैन हेल्प आवर फैमिली, वी कैन हेल्प आवर फ्रेंड्स एंड हेल्प एवरीबॉडी अराउंड अस. हर किसी का मन में एक ख्वाब है कि मैं बड़ा हो हीरो बनूं. हम दे एवेंजर्स के सुपर हीरोज होते हैं, कुछ बच्चे छोटे हैं छोटा भीम देखें, लेकिन जब बड़े होते हैं लगता है कि सुपर हीरोज देखते हैं ये सब इमेजिनरी होते हैं, ये सब रियल लाइफ नहीं होते. लाइफ के हीरो बॉलीवुड हीरोज हैं, लेकिन हीरो कौन होता है? हीरो होता है जो दूसरों की मदद करता है, जो दूसरों की जिंदगी बचाने में सक्षम है और जिंदगी बचाता है. तो साथियों, आज इस निस्वार्थ भावना से अगर आप हमारे ये सेशन अटेंड करेंगे और भविष्य में भी ऐसे सेशन की भी संस्था के माध्यम से होते रहें, अगर इन लाइफ सेविंग टिप्स को हम सीखेंगे तो हम लोगों की मदद कर पाएंगे, वो रियल लाइफ हीरो हम पाएंगे. तो आज का जो हमारा ये 2 घंटे का सेशन है, the time is very short. I will take much of time and I request all of you to be attentive to thoroughly learn in this session, and we like to be keep the continuous interaction with your esteemed organization, esteemed school. We are highly thankful to the entire management of Suchitra International Academy School. We are very proud of organization TTF Hyderabad, which is actually working in all our fields of Sanskar. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite the young and energetic president of Therapant Yuvak Parishad Hyderabad, Shri Rahul Shamsuka, for his welcome speech. Rahul,
thank you, Rakesh. Yeah, thank you, Rakesh. Our Honorable General Secretary of ABTYP, Mr. Manish Daftari, Principal and Chairperson of Suchitra International Academy School, teachers, students of Suchitra International Academy School, our Terapan Task Force, TTF's conveners, Rakeshji, Mr. Vipinji, and our trainers of this fabulous and interesting. Friends, this age in which you guys are is the age to learn and imbibe new values and principles. I'm sure this is being taken care by your teachers and teaching staff. In schools, like as I remember, as I recollect, we used to have NCC, and the other curricular activities were taken care of by NCC. But this type of training, which TTF has come up with, helps us a lot in times of uncertainty, in times of disaster, in times where we can save someone's life. This, at this age, if kids and future moral citizens of this country, if they can learn this at this age, I'm sure definitely this will be of very much help to everyone and each and all of us. And I would request all the students to carefully listen to this interesting session and try to grasp as much as possible. I would like to congratulate and thank the administration at Suchitra Academy International School for organizing such a beautiful program for their students. Because apart from studies, this is a real aspect which is going to help them a lot in the coming days. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahulji. I would like to invite Ms. Latha Vaidyanathan Madam from Suchitra Academy International School for her motivational speech. Ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Namaste and a warm greeting to everyone present here. On behalf of Suchitra Academy, I extend a hearty welcome to Terapan Task Force training team. Terapan Task Force is a dimension of Akhil Bharatiya Terapan, under which youth and adolescents are trained in disaster management and acquire survival skills ability during natural calamities and any other medical emergencies. The National Disaster Response Force, a paramilitary force of the Government of India, has the approval to conduct the training programs at the national level. The Mission Empowerment Program of NDRF trains young citizens of the country to empower themselves and face challenges, imbibing care, courage, and commitment. With no further ado, let's get started to learn an ocean of knowledge which will lead us to enhance our survival skills. Over to TTF cadets to begin the training program. Thank you.
Thank you,
Over to
ma'am.
you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And as Lata madam has said, I would like to invite our trained cadets from Terapan Task Force, Mr. Pratik and Mr. Yogesh ji, to start on the training session.
So, good morning, friends. Hope you all are absolutely fine and doing good in your life. And today I and my friend Yogesh ji would taking your session, and I would be taking the session of 3 topics, and Mr. Yogesh ji will also take 3 topics. So before I start, I would request you all of the students to please turn on their camera so that we can make this session more interactive and more interesting. So please students, turn on your camera so we can talk to each other and make this session more interesting. Yes, I can see that students are turning on their camera. Please turn all their camera. Now, before I start, I would tell you that After this completion of this session, I can ensure that you all are becoming an MFR, that is medical first respondent, as you will learning the survival skills. And now after this session, you would be able to help others when they are in a problem. So today I would be taking your three sessions, and the sessions were topics would be burns, snake bite, and choking. So before the first topic is burns. Burns is a very common problem which we see in our homes or in our daily routine life. Everyone once in a life has faced a burn. Before I start the topic, I would try to test your knowledge. As I know you are very intelligent, so please give me the answer of this poll question, that what should be applied in case of a burn. You have three options: ice, cool running water, cold water. Fastly give your answer. You have very less seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I've got your answers. Now, moving towards now, the meaning. What is burns? When there is a direct contact of our skin to any exposure of physical, thermal, electrical, or radiation, then we term it as burns. When there is a direct contact to any energy like radiation or electrical, then a wound is on our skin, that is termed as burns. So now I would like to share some terrifying facts about burns which are caused in India. In India, nearly 70 lakh cases are annually recorded of burns, and out of which 1.5 lakh people die due to burn, and that is a very big number. And in the cases of burns, majority are women and children, and these cases are 80% from the from our home or are from our surroundings. So these are very big numbers to friends, and we have to learn now how we can cure burns, or how we can cure these burns injuries. So now, before we know how to do the treatment of burn, first we have to understand our layers of skin. We need to know the basic understanding of our skin layers. So our skin layers consist of three layers. Our skin consists of three layers. The first layer is epidermis, the layer which we can see from our eyes, naked eyes, and which we can feel. The first layer is epidermis. The second layer is dermis layer, which plays a very crucial role in our body. And the third layer is classified into two parts, that is subcutaneous tissues and muscles. Subcutaneous tissues are also called fat tissues, and muscles which provide strength to our body. Now, we have understood the layers of skin. Now, I would telling you the degrees of burn. Degrees of burn are of three types. The first is first degree of burn. In first degree of burn, your epidermis layer gets affected or gets damaged. In second degree of burn, your not only epidermis but dermis layer also get affected and damaged in cases of burns. And third, which is severity of burn, that is third degree of burn. In this, all the three layers of your skin gets affected or damaged. Now, I would be showing some real life examples, real cases of all the degrees of burn. Like you can see in the first image, when there is a first degree of burn, you can see on the face of the child that in first degree of burn, the affected area gets reddened. The affected area is red. That is first degree of burn. In second degree of burn, you can see that on the feet, there are some blisters. You can see the blisters on the feet. In third degree of burn, the skin starts to be blackened. The skin starts get black, and this process is called charring. These were some examples. Now, uh, now the rule of 9. Uh, Now you can see on your screen rule of 9, which is a very important part of this topic. You have to remember rule of 9. I would The rule of 9 is that our body parts have been given weightages in the multiples of 4.5 or on the table of 9. So you can see in the case of adult, our chest has been given 18% weightage, our arms have been given 9%, our legs have been given 18%. Why legs have been given more weightage than our arms? It is because that our thighs contain most of the blood in our body. So when there is a burn in the cases in our legs or thighs, we have to be more cautious, we have to take more precautions. Similarly, in the case of child also, chest have been given 18%, our arms have been, legs have been given more weightages than our arms. Now moving towards the metrics of 9, that how to assess the severity of burn. So when there is a first degree of burn, then if the percentage is less than 50%, then we treat it as minor burn. And if it is more than 50%, then it is said to be moderate burn. In second degree of burn, 2 to 15% would be considered as minor burn, and more than 30% would be considered as critical burn. And in third degree of burn, less than 2% is treated as a minor burn, and more than 10% is considered as a critical burn. Now moving towards a triangle of fire. What is triangle of fire? As you all know that to burn a fire, we need three elements. What are these three elements? First is fire, first is heat, second is oxygen, and third is fuel. And if one of the element is missing in this triangle of fire, then the fire will not be able to generate. The fire will not exist. So suppose one of your friend or one person is stuck in a building and the building is on fire and the fire catches his clothes. What should a normal person do? A normal person will start running. He will seek help. He will start running here and there. And this is a very dangerous situation. Why it is a dangerous situation? Because when he will start running, the fire will expand. The fire will reach to his body parts and to other clothes. So, my friends, you have to be careful when there is a fire on our clothes or any body part. We have to be using the rule, a triangle of fire, and this technique called stop, drop, and roll. What is this stop, drop, roll? First, when there is a fire on your clothes, you have to be stopped. You have to stop at one place, stay calm, have patience. First, you have to stop, then drop. You have to prone on the floor. Prone on the floor and then start rolling on the floor. What will this do? This will result in that you are eliminating one element of the fire, that is oxygen. And as we all know, my friends, when one element of fire is eliminated, the fire will not exist. So remember, when there is fire on anybody's clothes, you should apply this rule: stop, drop, and roll. Now moving towards do's and don'ts, the most important part of this topic. So you all must be keen to know what we should do when there is a case of a burn. So first of all, when you see there is a case of a burn, you should remove all the clothing, all the jewelries, or all the items which are around the wound or injured person. When there is a burn on your skin or anybody's skin, you should remove all the clothing and all the jewelry items like watches, bracelets, and etc. Secondly, the second step you have to do is put that in affected part under cool running water. The answer to the poll question was also cool running water. The wound should be put under cool running water for 20 minutes, and I can see that poll results that most of the students have been given right answer. 60% have students given right answer. So I am very glad to know that my friends are very intelligent and they know what to do. So thirdly, after putting, when you have put the wound under cool running water for 20 minutes, now you have to do a dry dressing. Dry dressing is that you have to put a bandage around the wound affected area so that the chances of infections can be eliminated. The next step, which is a very common mistake which all we do in our homes or daily lives, that when there is a burn, we start applying ice on it as we think that it will provide relief to our wound or pain. But that's not true, my friends. Applying ice on our wound or a burnt area will can which may can damage our skin. So don't put ice on the burnt area as it may affect your or it may damage your skin. Now, some don'ts also. Now moving toward don'ts, what we should not do in case of burn. The first mistake we majorly do that we take it very non-seriously. When there is a burn, we think that it will heal up in 1 to 2 days, or I can treat it my own. So we should not do this. We should, if there is a burn on our skin, then we should firstly take help from a medical professional. Under his guidance, we should do all things. Secondly, don't put ice on your wound, as I have told earlier also, that it may damage your skin. Thirdly, when there is a second degree of burn, we see blisters. So we don't have to we prick or break the blisters at as it may cause infection to your body. So don't break your blisters. Thirdly, don't put any gels, butter oils, ointments, or any cream on your own. Don't become doctor on your own. As prescribed by a medical professional, you should use only those gels only which are prescribed by a medical professional. If you have to do, if you are a burn, then you can apply aloe vera gel on your own. That will not cause any infection to your body. Lastly, don't remove dry dressing without the prescription of a medical professional. Now, I hope you all have understood the cases of burns. Now, I would like to give a quick review of burns first. First of all, burns is a direct contact or direct exposure to the radiation or thermal or electrical sources. Then we have three layers of our skin, that is epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous tissues. And we have to remember our rule of 9, in which we have given weightages of to our body in the multiples of 4.5 and 9. And when there is a fire on your clothes, then you have to remember the rule, that is stop, drop, and roll. And when there is a burn case, then you have to remove all the first clothing and jewelry parts and put the burn area, affected area, under the cool running water for 20 minutes, and you have to do a dry dressing. That was a very quick and precise review that I have given your burns. I hope you will remember this part. Now moving towards the next topic, that is choking. Choking is also very common in our day-to-day lives, as we all have suffered one or another time in our lives that we have faced choking. So what is choking? Choking is when a foreign object or an item, usually it is a food, coin, or a toy, that stuck in our trachea. So when it is stuck, we feel difficulty in breathing. The oxygen level cannot go to the our lungs, so we feel difficulty in breathing. As you can see in the image, the person is uh, hold his throat in a cross position by crossing his hand and his uh, throat. So this is called a universal sign of choking. when a person is holding his throat by a cross position of his hands. So when you ever see someone doing this sign, you should understand that he is might facing a problem of choking. So now I would be telling what items lead to choking. Generally, small, round and slippery food, nuts and seeds, tiny toys, button batteries, coins. These are the some items which may cause choking, and it majorly causes 7 to 15 years kids and children. So now, before you should know to what to do to encourage your seniors. We all have grandparents in our homes, and they also suffer from choking. So how can we? What should we do that the chances of choking to them can be reduced? So first of all, we have to encourage them. They have to be eating their food very slowly, and they have to chew it very properly. And you should ensure that they should not talk while chewing their food. And after completing a bite, then only they should eat the next bite. And you should also ensure that you should add a thickener to their drink, so that they should drink the drink very slowly and very calmly. Moving towards, what are the symptoms of choking? When there is choking, you will find difficulty in chewing, difficulty in swallowing, the food will start sticking in your throat, and also you will start coughing, or in many cases, the person may vomit up the food. These are some general symptoms of choking which we see. Now, what we should do while there is choking? So you all must be knowing, keenly start knowing, interested that what we should do when there is a case of choking. So my friends from Cuttack are giving you a live demo. So what to do in choking in cases of adult. Here is my friend. Like you can see in the video, he is giving the universal sign that he is suffering from choking, and he is seeking for the help. He is looking for the help, and one friend of mine is come, and he is first asking for the permission. Can I help you? After he said yes, then only you will help him. So you have to go on the back of the person and put your master leg between the legs of the person. Now you have to forcefully pull the hands backwards and lean him down and give him 5 back blows. 5 back blows you have to give like this: one, two, three. You have to pull up like back blows have been given. If this is not giving relief, if the item is not dislodged till now, then we will use another technique that is called Hamlick maneuver. What is Hamlick maneuver? In Hamlick maneuver also, we have to get backwards and put our master leg between the legs of the person and lean him down. And now we will use our fist. We have to close our fist like this and use our thumb joint. We will use our thumb joint at the xiphoid process. Where is xiphoid process? It is below 2 fingers below where our rib cages are getting separated. Below the rib cages, 2 fingers below where the rib cage is separated. Using the thumb joint, we will perform Hamlick maneuver. Now we will lean him down and pull it upwards. Like we open a bottle, we will pull it upwards, and we will perform this till the item is dislodged from the throat. This is a very effective technique and a very useful and important to learn, as choking is very general, very common problem. Now you can see that after performing Hamlick maneuver, my friend is feeling relieved from choking. So this was in the case of adult, but what to do in cases of babies, kids? As most of the often the kids face choking. So what to do when the kid is facing choking? So my friends will tell you now. Another friend of mine has come, and he will tell in cases of babies. First of all, to when there is case of a baby choking, then first of all you have to sit comfortably first. First, you make comfortable yourself, and very softly and gently, carefully, you have to handle the baby. So the baby is suffering from choking. First, we will use Heimlich maneuver. In adults, we use our thumb joint, but baby is very soft and gentle. So you have to use your two fingers. You have to use your fingers at the xiphoid process, that is two fingers below the rib cage, and very gently, softly, you will give Heimlich maneuver at the xiphoid process. And now, still till now, the baby is not relieved from choking. So we will make a V shape from our fingers and put around the nozzle area. We will put it around nozzle area of baby, and very carefully we will turn it upside down. We have put our fingers around the nozzle area. Now very gently, carefully, we will put the baby upside down and give him back blows from our other hand. From one hand, we are giving support to him, and from other hand, we will give very softly, gently back blows. And after this, you will be able to dislodge the item that is stuck in the throat. Now the item has been dislodged, but now you have to be very careful and take it out with your finger very carefully, the item that has been stuck. And this is how you will perform the practices or these techniques of Heimlich maneuver and back blows to the baby. So this was the techniques when there is someone is around you and is helping. But what you will do when you are alone? If you are alone and you are suffering from choking, then you have to find a chair. You have to be finding a chair and get it on back, and like this on the image, you have to lean on the chair and use the technique of Heimlich maneuver. First, you will use your thumb joint, and from the other hand, you will give support to the your thumb joint. So leaning towards the chair and using your thumb joint at the xiphoid process, which is two fingers down to your rib cage, where they are getting separated. And you will have to perform till the item is dislodged from your throat. And friends, believe me, this technique is very effective when there is choking, as most of the times very quickly this technique helps to dislodge the item from your throat. So this was the case when you are alone. But what you have to do when when your friend is suffering from obesity, or when there is a pregnant woman, we have to use these techniques, but slightly in a different manner. So what is that technique? You have to use Heimlich maneuver, but not on the xiphoid process, but on the breastbone itself. Where is the breastbone? It is above the our rib cage, uh, joining our lowest ribs. There is the breastbone, and we have to apply the force on the breastbone itself, and we have to perform till the item is dislodged. So this was the case when the pregnant woman or the obese person is suffering from choking. Now, what we can do to ensure that our children or our brothers and small brothers and sisters don't suffer from choking, or the chances can be reduced. So what we have to do? First of all, we have to make ensure that our brothers and sisters, our siblings, should eat their food in a stationary position. A stationary position is that in which the child cannot move or run or can make any new position. So first of all, you have to ensure that they are eating in a stationary position. Secondly, you have to pay attention that they chew their food very properly and eat very slowly. And also, while giving them toys, you should ensure that the toy's width should be more than 4.25 centimeter or more than 5 centimeter, as it will ensure that they will not be able to put the toy or the toy in their mouth. So these were some techniques that you should know, that what to do in the cases of choking, that you should know you have to firstly give 5 back blows. Then if back blows are not working in cases of adult, then only then you should go for Heimlich maneuver, as it is a very effective technique and which will dislodge the item from your throat. Now, moving towards the next topic, and which you may find fearful, which most of the Indians are feared, that is snake bite. As you all know that snake is a very dangerous animal. When it bites, the person is very difficult to survive. That all is wrong, my friends. This is all wrong. You will be terrified or shocked that 55 million cases of snake bites are registered globally, and out of which 30 million, 33 million, that is 30 lakhs, are only registered in India. That is a very big number. Out of 55 lakh, 30 lakhs are from only India. And in India, there are 300 species of snakes which are found all over the India. And out of 300, 62 are the species which contains venom, and rest are venomless. So 62 species are dangerous, but most of the are non-danger. So, but why there is death rate in India is high? Because of fear. People see the snake and they get scared. They start thinking that if the snake has bitten them, they will not be able to survive. But that is not true. Now, in this topic, I would be telling you what you have to do when there is a snake bite. First of all, you have to remember a thing, that when there is a snake bite case, you have to look for the fang marks. You can see in the left side of the image, you can see the fangs in the snake. That are the teeth which contain the venom in snake. So if you see fang marks on your skin or the affected area, then you have been bitten by a venom snake. The snake is venom and dangerous, contains venom and is dangerous. So this is the differentiation between a venom and venomless snake. Now, what you should not do when there is a case of snake bite. Suppose there is a snake bite to a person. What people generally do? They start putting a strap on. Suppose there is a fang marks on the elbow part, or a wrist part, something on the arm. So people start doing to put a tight strap on the bicep area. This is totally wrong, as it will stop the flow of blood, and in some cases, the affected part may get useless. So you don't have to put any tight strap above the wound affected area. Secondly, not you have to put a tight strap, but you have to do a bandaging, and that I would be covering and telling you in the next few minutes. Secondly, the most common practice in the tribal areas or rural areas, that a person goes to tantric babas. They go to tantric babas and take their help. Friends, tantric babas will not help you. Who will help you? A medical professional. You have to go to a medical professional, not to a tantric baba. Now, these were some don'ts. So what symptoms we see when there is a case of a snake bite? Firstly, your physical vision will start gets blurring. Your body will not have that much of coordination. You may find fever, pain in your joints, pain in the body. In cases there is vomiting. So these are some symptoms which you see when there is a snake bite. All on your body, the symptoms can be seen. Now, coming to the main part, what we should do. What we should do in the cases of a snake bite. The first and foremost step is to call a medical professional. Friends, yes, you have to call a medical professional, and in a very quick and precise form, you have to give him all the important information. Now, I would give demonstrating how you have to talk with a medical professional when there is a case of a snake bite. Suppose there is a snake bite case in front of me, the patient is suffering from severe pain. Now I have to call a medical professional. Look how I could talk to them. Hello, sir, my name is Prateek Jain and I'm calling from Nolka Garden Colony, Ludhiana. My PIN code is 141008 and in front of me there is a patient of snake bite. So please come to my location as fast as possible and I'm sending my live location to your WhatsApp number, and so please reach as soon as possible. Look, I have given him all the important information in a very quick and a very precise manner. So you have to do very quickly as the patient is suffering from severe pain. Secondly, after calling the medical professional, you have to make ensure that where the body part which is affected by the snake bite should be down the below the heart level. Why? So that if suppose the fang marks are on my wrist side or arm part, if it is above the heart level, the blood will flow, the affected blood will flow to our heart and the heart will pump to all over the body. So we have to make ensure that if the affected part should be below the heart level so that the blood remains on that part only, on that body part only. Thirdly, if you have a snake bite kit, a first aid kit, then you can use a sucker and a syringe. This will help to pull out the venom. Most of time it has been seen that people try to pull off the venom from their mouth. That is not a correct method. That is a very wrong method and a very dangerous part, as while you are trying to save your life, you may threaten your life also. So you have to use a syringe and a sucker. How to use a syringe and sucker? First of all, you have to wash the wound and then you have to put the sucker on the wound and then pull the syringe so that you can pull out the venom from the affected part. But what if you don't have the medical or the first aid kit? So what you have to do? Um, So when you don't have the medical or first aid kit, then you have to do the bandaging. How to do a bandaging? Look, you can see the fang marks on the ankle of the person. So you not to have bandage around the fang marks, but you have to bandage all around the leg of the person. Like you can see in the image, the fang marks are on the ankle, but you will start bandaging from the toe part and then moving towards the affected part and then to the leg of the person. Now you can see that the whole affected part is covered by the bandage area, and also above and the below part is also covered by bandaging. This will ensure that the blood will flow only in that part of area and it will not reach to other parts of the body. So this was the technique that you should know when there is a case of snake bite. I will give you a quick review that when there is a snake bite case, you don't have to put a tight strap above the affected area. You don't have to go the tantric babas or the black magic babas, and you have to do the dry dressing, the bandaging, which I have told you now. And if there is no sterilized kit, then you can wash the wound and immediately seek for the medical professional help. Now, I would like to hand over to Mr. Yogesh ji to take next three topics, and please, Yogesh.
Thank you, Mr. Pratik. It was really very nice. You beautifully described all the three topics. It was very informative to save lives. And now I will be taking the session forward. So we'll start. Before we start, I will just remind you that this session is just what we are making is an MFR. MFR means we are not making MBBS. We are making is just, it's a link between the medical team and the patient. We have to perform our duty within that. And one more thing is that once this session is complete, you will be an MFR, but you have to be very attentive, because what is the thing? Half knowledge is really very dangerous. So what we will be doing is saving lives. And if we just confuse things, then it will be very difficult and very disruptive. So my first topic today, it is bleeding, blood. Okay. So blood is such thing that when we see blood, we get nervous. We get very nervous on seeing the blood. When it's oozing out from our body, it makes us more nervous. So what is it that makes blood so much valuable that it gives us goosebumps and makes our heart beat faster? Why it is so important? Do you know one thing? Let me share one fact with you. Our blood contains gold. Yes, our blood contains gold, but it is in a very limited quantity. It's just, I will say it's around 0.1 milligram of gold is there in our blood. This is not what makes the blood important. There is something else which makes its value very, very expensive. So first of all, let me ask you, I would really like if you please turn on your cameras, so that it will be also very beneficial for me to present. Yeah, please, I will request all the students, please turn on your cameras. So I will first ask you a question. Come to the chat box and reply a simple question. What color is your blood? What color is of blood? What is the color of blood? The question, to be precise, is what color is blood? Okay, I'm getting many answers. Students are very active, but they have switched off their cameras. They doesn't want to show their faces on the screen. Yes, red, dark red, pure red. I'm seeing many answers. One is there, blue. Very good. Pradyuman has answered blue. Nice. Okay, red. Okay, now let me tell you, blood can be of many colors. It can be red. In some organisms, blood is also green and blue. But yes, our human body, the color of blood is red. So whenever you are moving in a traffic, you see the traffic lights. There is a red light, green light, a yellow light. So we have made the red light as a mark of caution, a danger. Please stop. Yes, please stop. There is danger ahead. Caution, caution. This is the human psychology. So why we have made it a red color? That's a scientific answer, is that it's visible from far away. That is true. But as a human beings, we work upon our psychologies, the fears which are deep inside us, we take up into our real life. So the red light means the blood is also associated with red color. When we see red color oozing out from our body, it means it's danger. Please be cautious. Isn't it interesting? But suppose if an octopus is crossing the crossover roads, and there's a traffic signal light which is showing red, it will not get fearful, because his color of blood is not red, but it's blue. Yes. So what makes blood so much important for our lives? We will discuss that thing. Before that, there will be a poll question coming up upon your screens. Please answer the question. It's a simple question. I'm launching the poll. And the question is, how many liters of blood does an average human body contain? And your options are 5 liters, it's 10 liters, or 15 liters. Yes, quickly, Suchitra Academy students, answer the question. I'm getting many answers. Now you have more 5 seconds. And the countdown begins here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And yes, I'm ending the poll now. And I have the answers. I will share it with you. You can see it on your screen that 41% of the students have responded with 5 liters. And many of you have also responded with 10 and 15 liters. But the answer is, guys, it's 5 to 6 liters of blood. A general average body, human body, contain around 5 liters of blood. So now moving on to the importance of blood, we will see why the blood is so much important. So let me first tell you what the blood does in our body. Yes, oxygen. Can you imagine a world without oxygen? An earth where there is no oxygen? No, we cannot. Because we cannot live without oxygen. Oxygen is the most essential part that keeps us alive. And this is what our blood does. The blood carries our oxygen to each and every part of our cell and keeps it alive, keeps it moving. And how does it does that? First of all, what happens? There is a pump in our body, which is called heart, which ensures the supply of blood to each and every part of our body. Now, what the heart does, when it pumps the blood, the arteries, they carry the blood from the heart and then they move towards the lungs. That is a bus stop, like think at the lungs. They stop over there. They carry oxygen from the lungs. Now, the blood is enriched with oxygen from the lungs. And from there on, the arteries move that oxygen to each and every cells of our body, every organ of our body. And the organ is lively, it's active, it's living, it's not dead. Now what happens? The veins in our body, what they do, they bring back the contaminated blood from all our body again to our lungs and then again to our heart. So this is the process that the blood does. It provides oxygen to our cells and that oxygen keeps us alive. So when we lose blood, it's going to be dangerous. Yes, the red sign, it will be danger. Not only oxygen, guys, blood also helps to carry certain hormones and certain important nutrients to our body. That is also an important function of our blood. So basically summarizing it, the blood carries oxygen and nutrients to our body and carries away, removes carbon dioxide and waste products away from our body. So that is the real importance of blood and the real worth of blood. That is what makes it more expensive, even more expensive than gold. There is gold in our body. So don't just go on and you just try to extract gold from your blood, that I will get rich and extract gold from my body. It's in very limited quantity. The gold is not so expensive than what your blood is. So 5 liters of blood we have got. What will make a dangerous situation? The bleeding. Yes, when we get cuts and wounds in our body, the blood starts oozing out from our body. And what makes it more difficult is if our body loses more than around 1 liter of blood from our body, then it can be a life-risking thing, very, very lethal and dangerous thing if we lose 1 liter of our blood. What will happen? The organs will not get blood supply. They will get deprived of the oxygen they need to remain alive, and the organs might get damaged. We can even get a heart attack and we can die. So it is very important that when a person is bleeding, you have to stop that bleeding. And this is what our today's session is all about. We will teach you how to stop that valuable blood to lose from our body. We will stop it in a very, very interesting session today. So before we move on to that, I will just acquaint you with some pulse locations. So what are these actually pulse locations? to understand what are these pulse locations and these the importance of this, let me explain you one thing. Like there may be a waterworks department in your city, Hyderabad. What does the waterworks department do? They supply water from their tanks, which are big tanks, and the pipes are also thick and big. They supply it to your homes. The water from the waterworks department comes through bigger pipes. Now, what happens when it reaches your home? You distribute the water to your taps, to your kitchen, to your bathroom, and you use smaller pipes. Through small pipes, the water is distributed everywhere in your house. So, likewise, that is the same mechanism that works inside our body in the circulatory system that has been made up. What happens? The heart is the center. Now, there are certain arteries who has bigger valves. They are thicker and they can carry more blood. And these arteries then divert into smaller arteries and veins, which can supply less amount of blood where less amount of blood is required. So there are certain locations. We will cover first 3 of them, such certain points through where these bigger arteries or bigger pipes of our body transverse. So what you can see in the pictures in the screen, the carotid pulse, the radial pulse, and the femoral pulse. These are the 3 pulses. These are the 3 pulses where good amount of blood is carried. So where is the carotid pulse located? Carotid pulse is located below your jaw, where the angle of your jaw, just below it. This is the angle of your jaw. Just below it, there is a carotid pulse. The doctor sometimes examines us by putting his 2 fingers over here. I can ask you students, you can put your 2 fingers just below the jaw angle and you will hear a sound where there is a pulse-like sound, dhub, dhub, dhub. We can feel it. Good amount of blood is flowing through this carotid pulse. Same is here with the radial pulse. Radial pulse is just located where our thumb ends on our wrist. The place where our thumb ends on our wrist, there is the radial pulse. Likewise, there is a femoral pulse on our thighs. So why I am teaching you all these pulses? This is not a biological class. Why should I teach you regarding the circulatory system, the pulses, pulse locations of our body? I will tell you regarding that later on in the session. First of all, we will see what we can do in case somebody is bleeding or you are bleeding. So first of all, the first step of an MFR is to call the emergency helpline number. Yeah, the medical helpline number. You will call and inform. If the cut is not just a minor one, you can just call upon and ask the medical assistants to reach you, giving your exact location in a very short and descriptive manner. It should be short and all the information should include like the age of the person, the name of the person, the location. You can even WhatsApp the location. And then second thing, what we can do is we can protect the person, move him to a safer place. That is what we have to do. One thing we have to keep in mind, while we carry out our first aid activities, we should protect first ourselves. How can we do that? To protect ourselves, we have to wear proper gloves so that if there is any infection from the affected person, it doesn't move upon to us. So it is very necessary that we first protect ourselves, then we proceed with the treatment. So this is the three-point method, how to stop the bleeding. The first method is the direct pressure method. Now, what is the direct pressure method? In the direct pressure method, we will apply a direct pressure. How to do that? Suppose you have a wound on your hand. What you have to do, you have to take a clean bandage and place upon the affected area and apply direct pressure onto it and keep applying it for as long as you can. Now, what happens? We have a fickle mind. What we do, now and then we try and remove the bandage and see whether the blood has stopped or not. We don't have to do that. We just have to keep applying the direct pressure upon the wounded affected area. And suppose that the cloth or the bandage is soaked up in blood, we will take another bandage or cloth and we will put upon it. We will not remove anything. This is the direct pressure method. By this direct pressure method, if the blood doesn't stop, the next step, yes, that is the pressure point. That is the thing, the pulse location thing that I was talking about. So we can use that pressure point, that the pulse locations which I was explaining you. Through those locations, good amount of blood is flowing. So if we can disrupt the flow of the blood from those positions, then the flow of blood will reduce to a very, very significant amount. So we can apply a pressure point. We can press the pressure points and control the bleeding to the affected area. And one more important thing is elevation. What is elevation, friends? Everybody knows that heart is our pump, like the pump in our homes, which pump the water from the tanks below our house to the tank above our house. It carries the water by pumping the water. Same is the thing with which our heart. It pumps the blood. When it pumps, the blood flows upwards towards our body, and respectively, same thing happens towards the downward flow. So what happens when there is a cut in your hand? The heart will pump the blood, and what we have to do is we have to elevate that area. Now, what benefit we will get if we elevate that area above our heart level? We have to put it above our heart level. Suppose our heart level is here. I have a cut on my hand. I will elevate it from the heart area. Now the heart has more work to do. It will have to utilize more energy, more effort. It has to pump more hard to take the blood to that part. And in doing so, when the flow of the blood to that affected area will automatically reduce. If your heart is not pumping, and it couldn't force upon the blood to flow to the affected area. And this is a very nice trick to stop the flow of blood to the affected area. So coming back to the pressure point thing, what we have to do, we can tourniquet also. How to tourniquet? Tourniqueting is a very effective technique. Suppose, as you can see in the image, a person has got hurt on his leg below the knee. So now what we will do is we'll take a piece of cloth and we'll tie upon the above area of the wound. We will skip a joint. Suppose the knee joint we will skip, and on his thighs he has been tourniqueted tightly. We will put the bandage and we will make it very tight. So the blood flow from the thigh area, it will slow down, and it will help in stopping the bleeding. What our body, God has made it in such a way that it has properties which can heal itself. How? In our blood, we have ingredients which have a quality to clot the blood itself. It usually takes 6 to 7 minutes for small wounds to heal themselves. For bigger wounds, we have to take much more precautions. So now, when you have learned the techniques, how to stop the bleeding, I think if any such situation occurs around you, you will be very much effective in helping the patient or helping yourself. So now moving on to our next thing in our bleeding. Before that, there is a poll question again, which will be showing up on your screen. It's regarding nose bleeding. What happens in the hot areas? Usually people bleed from their nose. So when we are bleeding from our nose, what should we do? Shall we bend our head backwards or forward? Please, guys, answer this poll. Yes. Okay, very fast. The students of Suchitra Academy are actually more faster than the fastest finger participants of KBC. Yes, you have a very good chance in KBC. No, now we'll be ending our poll with the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, I'm ending the poll now, and I will be sharing the results also. So you can see the results on your screen. 77% of the students have responded with bending their head backwards, and only 23% students have replied for bending your head or face forward. So what do you think? Is it correct? No, students. The thing is, maximum of you are not correct over here in this one. In case of nose bleeding, we should not bend our head backwards. We should bend it forwards. It's a common practice. We have been, many of us, our seniors also tell us that please lie down and bend your head back, but we should not do that. Can anyone of you please raise hand and can explain why should we not bend our head backwards and we should bend it forward? Anybody who can raise hand and answer? One answer is there in the chat box: because external gases can diffuse. You suffocate on the blood, SBK. Okay. There is a raised hand, Mr. Vidur. I will be unmuting you. Please switch on your video and unmute yourself.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I think we should be forward because when the blood like comes out, then it may normally be impure blood, and also the external gases can enter the blood. So if you again take it back in, might be harmful in some cases. That's what I think.
Very good, Vidur. You are very close and very correct. The thing is, what happens when we bend our head backward? The blood, which has already been wasted, which is not a part of our body, that enters again into our body, and it can get into our stomach. It can cause vomitish to us. We can vomit. It can cause infections, and most importantly, if it get clotted in our windpipe, we can also suffer from choking or have a breathing problem. That is very nicely presented by Vidur, Mr. Vidur. So what we have to do is we will bend our head forward and let the bad blood, the extra blood, ooze out from our nose, remove out from our nose. And one more thing that we can do is we can press our nose like this, the tip of the nose tightly, while bending our head forward, and we can press it. That will stop the bleeding. And suppose you have a common medical condition where very often you get this nose bleeding thing, then you must actually refer to your doctor. You should consult him. Now, next one is stabbing. Yes, stabbing. What is stabbing? Stabbing is when what happens sometimes accidentally or intentionally, some foreign thick sharp object that gets stuck into our body. That is stabbing. So what we should do if such a situation arises where the blood from our body, we are also losing blood, and there is object inside our body. The thing is, like we see in the Bollywood movies, that Shakti Kapoor came and he struck a knife into the stomach of the actress, the heroine, and then Dharmender comes upon and he shows off his heroics. He puts his hands onto the knife and pulls it out from his body, and he thinks he's going to save the heroine. No, my dear friend, you will never save a person like that. It can be more life dangerous and it can be more risky. What is the thing? When we pull out the object, it can cause more injury inside our organs, and the flow of blood or the bleeding will increase profoundly. We should never remove the object stuck inside our body. What we can do is we will tie a bandage around the wound and cover it up and seek immediate medical attention locomote the patient from the affected area to the hospital, call upon the ambulance. We will do it as fast as it's possible. That is the only option we have. We will never remove the object from his body. So now this was all about external bleeding, where we can see the blood. That's a caution sign is in front of our eyes. Sometimes what happens, we suffer from internal bleeding. The blood which organs are bleeding, but the blood is not seen on the surface. It doesn't come out from our body. It doesn't ooze out. It remains inside the body. So how to recognize such a scenario where there is an internal bleeding happening? So on your screen, there are some common symptoms which can appear, like you can see the image. The part of the body has got discolored. It has become bluish, greenish. This is one simple symptom of internal bleeding. What we will feel weakness. Then our visions could get blurry. We won't be able to see properly. There will be a difficulty in breathing. The shortness of breathing will be there. There could be a pain in our chest or shoulder. And again, there could be a tinkling in our fingers. Then a nausea feeling, a vomitous feeling may appear. And most importantly, there could be pain. So in case of an internal bleeding, what as an MFR we should practice so that we can soothe the patient, we can calm the patient. First of all, what we have to do is calm the person. We will give him emotional support. We will provide him emotional support, talk to him that it's okay, you are fine, nothing is going to happen to you, just relax. We will cure you. Nothing more dangerous can happen. And in simple internal bleedings, we can take ice packs. We can apply ice packs on the affected area where we are seeing some blood patches or the discoloration of the skin. We can apply ice packs there. And the next thing we have to do is move the patient to emergency medical facilities. That is very important. Internal bleeding can really be very dangerous and life risking. We have to immediately move the patient for medical treatment. So guys, this was all about bleeding. We will move next to more interesting topic, that is fracture. But before that, I would like to take a review from one of you who can explain what should we do in case of bleeding. What are the 3-point methods that we can apply if a person is bleeding? Anybody who's can raise your hand, will give us a quick review. Okay, Vidur is there. Anybody else? Anybody else who can give us a quick review, the 3-point method? Okay, Vidur, I am unmuting you. You can go ahead. Yeah, please unmute yourself. Vidur?
Yes, sir, my net is very bad, sir. I can't.
Okay.
Speak. Yeah.
You can speak if you don't switch on your video. You can just explain.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah. Carry on. Okay, it seems Vidur is not getting connected with us. I'll give you a brief review. In case of bleeding, what we have to do is a 3-point method. First is direct pressure. We have to apply a direct pressure on the wound. The second one is pressure points, the pulse pressure points, which I first taught you about, the 3 major pulse pressure points. Then elevation, we have to move the body part above the heart level so that the blood supply to the affected area gets reduced. And then we can tourniquet or bandage the portion which is above the wounded area. We have to skip one joint and then we will tightly tourniquet the patient. So guys, this was all about bleeding. Let's move upon to our next topic of the day, that is fracture. There will be very, very informative and interesting live demos in this session. You will really enjoy it. It's a enjoyment, learning, and life-saving all clumped together. Yes, fracture. What is a fracture? And which body part suffers from fracture? Bones. Yes, bones. We have bones in our body. And do you know that bones are even stronger than steel, but still we get fractured. We get our bones broken. In our school times, the teachers used to break our bones. There are many other reasons why the bones get fractured. We can come across an accident, we fall upon, we fracture our bones. So let me explain you in medical term the definition of a fracture. That a bone fracture is a medical condition in which there's a partial or complete break in the continuity of the bone. When the bone is in a continuous phase, if it's partially or completely broken, we call it a fracture. So many of the students, I hope, would have come across fractures, who have faced the fractures themselves or their friends. These are some common facts which we have discussed. That fractures can be of different types. It can be avulsions, comminuted hairline fractures from the, these are the different kinds. Then there can be also open fractures and closed fractures. What are open and closed fractures? Open fracture is something where the bone has come out from your body. That is an open fracture. And a closed fracture is the bone, the fractured bone remains inside or sealed in our body. It doesn't come out. It's not seen. That is a closed fracture. And it is very important to give the person first aid or the medical treatment for a closed fractures. We can reduce his pain. We can also prevent the fracture, closed fracture, from becoming an open fracture. So guys, everybody, please come in the chat box if anybody has come across fractures in their life, have faced this problem where their bones got fractured. Yes, Mr. Board has suffered from fractures. Diva has suffered from a fracture. Moto E6S has also suffered from fracture. And Sripad.yahoo.food.com has suffered from a fracture. Ayush Mantri has also suffered from a fracture. Yes, yes. Good sake, I have never suffered from a fracture. So those people who have suffered from a fracture will very well know the symptoms of the fracture. The first thing that a fracture does is it causes pain, very profound pain, such a pain that you are not able to bear it. Yes, too much pain. That is the very common symptom of fracture. We can identify, yes, he is in such a pain, he has fallen, iski haddi jarur toot gayi hai, isko ilaj ki zarurat hai. Very, yes, yes. This is one of the common symptoms. Again, moving on to the symptoms. Suppose there is a fracture in your legs. What will happen is that you won't be able to place your leg properly on the ground. You will have problems, difficulty in moving. There will be pain in the movement also. And another symptom is the bruised skin, the skin discoloration, or it will get what we call in a Hindi term nila pad jana. It will get bluish, the area. That is also a symptom of fracture. It will be accompanied with a lot of pain. And then there could also be a fracture blisters. Sometimes when a fracture occurs, your affected area may also grow some blisters upon the skin. That is also a symptom of fracture. So guys, we have all learned what are the symptoms of the fracture, how we'll recognize that a person has suffered from a fracture. Now our work comes into practice. What we have to do. The person is affected with fracture, what to do? Yes, it's a simple formula, a quote, PRICE, price. We have to apply this price. The price is the method. We will be able to relax the person, the affected person, cool him, calm him, and he will get relief from pain. Not complete relief, I may say, but it will be very much comfortable for him. So what is the first thing is to protect the injury. Stop using the injured limb pad to protect. We will discuss it about in our later in the topic. Then rest the injury. We will move the affected person to a comfortable place, more relaxing place from the injury spot or the accident spot. We will take him and we will relax him. We will rest him. Then what we will do, we will take a ice pack. We will apply an ice pack upon the affected area. Then the supportive bandage we will learn further in our session. then elevate to reduce swelling. We can also elevate the affected part to a height so that there won't be more swelling, and it will relax the victim. So now moving on to the most interesting and the most effective method that we have to practice. Suppose you have been come across a fracture. Now what we have to do is we will move him to for an X-ray or to a doctor, whether he requires a bandage. Before that, what we can do is splinting. And why we will do that, I will explain. Now, when a person is suffering from a fracture, we have to move him from a place to the doctor's place. And what happens is there will be a lot of pain. We cannot just put him on the scooter or an auto and we'll say that just go on. What will that do? That will increase the pain. The fracture can also increase. If it's a closed fracture, it can become an open fracture. It will cause more difficulties. So what we have to do before that, suppose a person is fractured, we will easily provide him splinting. Yes, we will ourselves at home, we will give him a splint. How we will do that, we will see through a video. I will show you in the case of fracture, how to apply a splint so that the affected person is very much relaxed and his pain is reduced. He can easily move upon for the medical location where he can get further treatment. For this, we will be showing you a live demo. You can see our Therapant Task Force cadets will help you through a live session to how to correct a fracture, relax a person. Here he is Mr. Saurav. He has suffered a fracture. He will be suffering in a while. Okay. Yes, his hand. Yeah. His hand has got fractured. Now, Mr. Saurav, how he's very much in pain. He cannot just bear that pain. And one of our MFR, that is Mr. Naresh, he has come to him asking for his help. He said, please help me. I am in terrible pain. I just cannot bear it. It's really, really very paining. It seems that Mr. Saurav has got a fracture in his hand. Now, what does Naresh does? He brings 2 pieces of boards like this. You can take hard magazines or newspapers also if it's available. Then put those cardboards on 2 parts upon his hand. And he also brought with him 2 handkerchiefs. He will be tying those 2 cardboard pieces to Mr. Saurav's hand nicely. And he will tie them tight so that Mr. Saurav will feel a bit relaxed. His hand will feel a bit relaxed. The fractured bone will not move. It will place intact. And when the fractured bone is intact, the pain will reduce. Mr. Naresh has tied up both the handkerchiefs and put the cardboards upon his affected area. Yes, now, but what happens? The gravitational pull is still there. The gravity is pulling his hand downwards, and he have to keep his hand in a raised position. He cannot just make it lean down his hand. So what we can do, we will provide a support so that the gravity doesn't aggravate the pain. We will take a triangular cloth. It can be a cloth. It can be a towel. If triangular is not available, we will take a rectangular one. We will convert it into a triangular one. We'll tie a knot on one of the corners of the cloth, and easily it will become a triangular cloth. Yes. Now Mr. Naresh has tied a knot to the rectangular cloth. Now this is what we have come across, a triangular cloth. Now what we will do, why is this joint? It is very much essential and it is very effective to give support so that the tied cloth doesn't move. We will support it on his, you can see he has supported it and he has tied the other 2 loose ends around his neck. Now due to that knot, this bandage will not move. Now we have defied gravity. Now gravity won't cause Saurav any pain. Now his hand is easily relaxed in a position and he doesn't have to make an effort to keep it upward. Yes, he's feeling, but he's still feeling pain. What happens when we will take him in an auto or a bicycle or a motorcycle? That fractured part will still move. It will cause him great pain. So what we can do is we will also reduce the movement by using a dupatta, a piece of cloth like Mr. Naresh has brought. And what we will do is we will tie it around Saurav's affected area throughout. Yes, you will see how to tie that through his shoulders and from his back to the other shoulder. We have revolved the cloth, and around his chest area, we have tied it upon very nicely. So now what happens? We have splinted Mr. Saurav. We have applied a splint to Mr. Saurav, fractured area. The pain is reduced. The movement is reduced. Mr. Saurav is very happy. You can see his pain is feeling a lot cooler, and it's soothing now. We can move him to the medical facilities. So this was all about splinting. So let's see, in the splinting, suppose it was a case when his arm was fractured. There can be cases where other body parts are fractured. How to use a splint on your leg is shown in the image on your presentation. And this is also a method of splinting where the arm is fully splinted straight ways. Sometimes we have spinal injury or those types of injury. We can also splint those things. We'll be very careful in splinting those. So this was splinting, guys. We have covered the fractured thing. The patient is now okay. Next tip is what? Carrying and lifting. Suppose a person is stuck upon, or he has a medical condition, or he has fractured his body parts. Now what we have to do is we have to move him to a safer place or to a medical place, to an ambulance, and the patient is not is not able enough so that he can move to that place on his own. We have to help him to move him. That is where these techniques come around. Carrying and lifting techniques. These are very simple techniques, guys. We can use these techniques and we can move the patient from one place to another place very easily. You see, many of you must be reading physics or those things. When a tough tough job have to be done. Suppose we have to move a boulder of around 600 kgs boulder, and that seems impossible that we cannot move that. But with the help of a lever, we can easily move that boulder. So this is the same thing we have to apply in our daily lives. If a person is affected, he is in pain, how to move him? We will use a simple techniques. Nothing rocket science in that. It's very simple techniques. We can easily move patient from the affected area, from the accident area to a more safer place. These moves, I will again be showing you through some demos how these moves can easily be carried out. Before that, I will just like to inform you that these carrying and lifting techniques are divided into two categories. The categories are the non-emergency moves and emergency moves. When to use the non-emergency moves and emergency move, guys? Suppose there is a condition where the patient has to be shifted immediately because there is a danger that something will fall upon him. We have to use the emergency moves. And you have more lives to save. Suppose there is some accident has happened and you have 3 to 4 lives to save. You cannot use the non-emergency move. You have to be fast. You have to use the emergency move so that you can move to the next person and save his life. The most common things for non-emergency moves are the blanket drag and and a t-shirt drag. You can drag the patient by holding his t-shirt. You can pull him backwards step by step and take him to a safer place. And sometimes in medical conditions, we have to use certain moves, techniques, moving techniques, so that the patient could be shifted to the ambulance or the medical facilities. So here is the video where we will be showing you certain innovative moving techniques. So here are the TTF cadets, Mr. Naresh and Mr. Chirag. They are from Cuttack. They have joined us. Now they will be showing how to make 2-hand seat, 3-hand seat, and 4-hand seat. So first of all, we'll come to the 2-hand seat. So Mr. Chirag and Naresh will make a two-hand seat. They will, you can see both their master hands. Yes, they will grab each other's master hands on their wrists, and this seat is ready. This is a two-hand seat. A patient can sit on this seat, and they can move the patient to a safer place, to a medical place, or to an ambulance. So now, next, to three-hand seat. Yes, if we want to make our seat more stronger, more safer, we can use a three-hand seat. Again, Mr. Naresh has taken his master hand and he has grabbed his own other hand on his wrist. And Mr. Chirag, yes, he will remove anything that is worn by on his hand, and he will take his master hand. Now, what he will do, he will grab the loose hand of Mr. Naresh, and Naresh's loose hand will again grab his wrist. Yes, and this, you can try it. If you are two persons, you are watching together, you can try it over there. This is a three-handed seat is made. Please show us on the screen, Mr. Naresh. Yeah, you can see it's a comfortable triangular seat that Mr. Naresh and Mr. Chirag have made. And there is one loose hand. We'll show you what is the purpose of that extra hand which of Mr. Chirag. Now our patient, Mr. Saurav, who has suffered injuries, he has to be moved to safer places. He will come. Let's have your seat, Mr. Saurav. Yes, the victim, the patient has easily seated on the seat made by our cadets and is very comfortable. He can then easily, they can carry him. Now this hand, this is for a support, like a support we have on our chairs. This hand will support the backbone of Mr. Saurav. If he have any spinal injury, it can support that as well. And if Mr. Saurav is unconscious, he's not in senses, it will also support him so that Saurav doesn't fall down. This is also another importance of that hand. So this was a three-hand seat. Now, friends, suppose you have a friend who is too heavy. He is more than 100 kgs or around 100 kgs. How to lift him? You can also lift him. Although we are slim figures, we can lift the heavier ones. We will make a four-hand seat. Yes. Now, for making a four-hand seat, both have taken their master hands and both will grasp their own wrists. Now, the two loose hands will grab each other's other hands. Mr. Naresh will grab Mr. Chirag's wrists and Mr. Chirag will grab Mr. Naresh's wrists, and they will make a four-hand seat. Now, this is a very comfortable seat and very, very strong seat. And through this technique, they can lift a very heavier person also. But one thing is there, that the person should be in his senses, he should be conscious. You cannot carry an unconscious person using this technique. Now, Mr. Saurav has made a comfortable seat, and then they can move him easily. Please show us, please move him a bit. Please, cadets. Yes. You can see they can take him for a walk. They can even move him to a kilometer easily without getting too much stressed, without feeling any fatigue. They can easily carry him. This was the four-hand seat method. So students, what we have learned is very innovative, simple carrying techniques that we can use easily in our home to carry a person from one place to another. Here some of our cadets are shown in the screen how they are using the carrying techniques to carry the victims. This is a chair. You can even make the person sit on a chair and we can move him through a chair. This is a four-hand technique, the first image. And the fore and aft method also, we can carry a person from this method. Then what is the pick a bag and pick a front method? This is also a very good technique to carry. But there is a condition in this technique that the victim should be in his pants, which should be tight pants. Otherwise, you won't be able to grasp his pant and carry him. Like we carry the bags, gunny bags, the labor people carry on their backs. These two techniques, from a back and from the front method, you can easily carry a victim to a safer place. What we will do is grab his pants and lift him upon us, and we will carry him easily. This is a four-handed seat method which demo was described. And one arm carry, when the person is of less weight, we can easily carry him like in our arms, like the firefighters carry. Then this is the human crunch. In case of some minor injuries, the person can be carried in this method. You will put his arm around your shoulders and grab his wrist, and we can also tie both the legs so that he doesn't fall down, and we can easily carry the person. This is a firefighter's carry. This is the method which is used by the firefighters to carry a person. So this was some techniques to carry. Now, what happens? Sometimes we need stretchers to carry. Now, stretchers we usually don't have in our office or homes. What should we do in such a case? Yes, we can make stretchers on our own. Jugaad. Yes, jugaad. From the things around our house, we will make stretchers. This is the innovation we will provide you, guys. Now, don't panic if you don't have stretchers. You have to carry a person. You can use the things which are available at your home to make your own stretcher and carry a victim to a safer place. I will show you some techniques how to make a stretcher at your home with that is improvised stretchers, improvised methods of making stretchers. Our cadets will come upon now and they will show you how you can easily make stretchers from t-shirts you are wearing. Yes, from the t-shirts you are wearing. So what we will need to make a stretcher in this thing is we need 2 strong poles. The poles should be strong enough. They can be wooden planks also. We will take 2 strong poles. They should be at least 5 to 6 feet or more than that in length. We have taken the 2 poles. Now, we have 3 cadets over here who will help in making the stretcher. Mr. Chirag has come in between. Mr. Saurav is holding the stretcher from one end, from the poles from the one end, and Mr. Naresh is holding the poles from the other end. Now, Mr. Chirag has come forward to Mr. Saurav and he is putting out his t-shirt. Yeah, he's taking out his t-shirt and putting it into the poles that Mr. Saurav and Naresh are holding. You can see easily he will move the t-shirt over the poles. Now he will move to the next cadet who is holding the poles from the other side, Mr. Naresh. Now he'll go over there. He will take out his t-shirt also. Please hold the poles tightly. Yes. Now Chirag has taken out another cadet's t-shirt also. Everybody is becoming Salman Khan here. Yeah. Now he has moved over to the open t-shirt over the poles again, and then he will come out of that area. He will come out, then we will join these t-shirts. We can also use 3 t-shirts to make it more stronger. So now here, your stretcher is ready. You don't need to buy a stretcher. You can make it at home, guys. You can easily carry an affected person using this stretcher. It's very strong enough. You can easily carry. If the person is even 100 kgs of weight, you can carry him in the stretchers. Just be cautious, remain cautious that the poles or the material that you use are strong enough. So guys, this was a stretcher made from a t-shirt. Now there are more methods we can make stretchers out of. Yeah. So we can make a stretcher using a blanket also. If you have a blanket at your home, we'll take a blanket, put the pole on the 1/3 position of the blanket. We'll put the pole. Then the loose end we will put upon the pole. Then again we'll take another pole. After leaving an inch of gap, we will place that pole on the folded part. Then what we have to do is we will pull the rest open part upon the other pole. This is the way we make a stretcher, improvised stretcher using a blanket. So this was a blanket stretcher, and this is the S-hand method. Sometimes if we plan to visit you in person, we'll teach you also without any blanket, without any pole, without any t-shirt, using our hands only also we can make a stretcher. That is a S-hand method. So guys, this was all about today's medical first respondent topics and subjects. I hope you enjoyed the session and it will be beneficial in case of any emergency which occurs around you. You might be able to help easily. Now, I will take your leave. Thank you very much, Suchitra Academy. Over to you, Rakesh ji.
Thank you very much, Pratik ji and Yogesh ji, for the wonderful session. These sessions are very meaningful and excellent information for an MFR. Today we have around 266 MFRs from Suchitra Academy, Hyderabad. We have learned a basic emergency first aid techniques from our trained cadets, Therapan Task Force. For our today's feedback, I would like to call upon the principal of Suchitra Academy, Ms. Deepa Kapoor, for our feedback.
Sir, I'm
Deepa
not
ma'am.
able to see the name if she's in logged in from some other name.
Deepa ma'am. Okay.
Hello.
I would like to request any. I would like to request any.
Ma'am will give a feedback.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
So it was a wonderful session. We thank you for the wonderful disaster management learning techniques that we see today. Big thank you to all of you.
Any of the students want to give the feedback?
So you need to unmute me.
Yeah, unmute, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Disaster management techniques that we received today. These effectively have enabled our students to face challenges and be leaders, which is very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Any of the students want to give feedback or teachers? Can you please raise your hand so we can unmute you?
Lalita ma'am.
Yeah, I think Lata ma'am has covered it, but it is a wonderful session. And these days, these type of sessions are too rare that needs to be shared with the students, which is very important because in our day-to-day life, we definitely meet with these type of accidents and, sudden unexpected calamities. So we are helpless as, what is to be done, what measures can be taken, what is the immediate step that needs to happen. So your team has really done a great job. Thank you for sharing all the details, and we hope to have many more sessions like this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. We are also eager to have many more sessions with you, ma'am, with the school. I would like to call upon for the first times the Secretary of Hyderabad, Atul Jain. Atul ji.
Yeah. Just give me 1 minute, sir. I'm just joining in a minute. That's it. Yeah.
Children.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, Tulji. Atulji?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, I would like to thank all the members here, especially all the teachers and students from Suchitra Academy who has graciously agreed to be a part of this amazing event, which would definitely benefit all the students in a long run and it also in short run. They can very well handle all the emergencies which might come their way, unfortunately. So for doing this session, the ABTYP team, the amazing TTF team of ABTYP has been conducting these wonderful sessions across multiple schools across all over India. So the members, Rakesh ji, Dak, Manish ji, and everyone who's been associated with this wonderful cause. It's an amazing opportunity for TTF Hyderabad to associate with ABTYP, is this ABTYP initiative of TTF, and all the wonderful people, all the brilliant cadets who are giving this, imparting this very useful training to all the students. So thank you so much. We would, it's our commitment to continue doing this amazing activity, and we will continue to serve as the goal of ABTYP and all its branches. The goal is to serve the humanity and to serve overall communities. So we will continue to do this, and we hope to continuously get the kind of cooperation we are getting from academies like Suchitra Academy and all other institutions. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Atulji. Thank you, Suchitra Academy, for providing ABTYP this wonderful opportunity to train the students of basic first aid kits and making them medical first responders. I, with my whole backend team, Yogesh, Jitesh, Vikas ji, thank you all on behalf of them, and I will take the request of the management and school for signing it off. That's it for the day. Thank you all. Thank you, Suchitra Academy. Thank you.